In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the current state of America's literacy rates and what we can do to improve them, starting with today's kids. Since the 1990s, over 30% of fourth graders have not been able to read at even a basic level. And those statistics only get worse as children grow older and fall behind even more. The American education system is not currently set up to support children who are struggling with literacy, and they're also not getting the help they need at home. That's why we as a society need to take a serious look at what is causing declining reading skills and what we can do to solve this. Currently, the main causes of declining literacy are inefficient teaching methods and curriculum design, lack of reading instruction early in life, and lack of access to reading materials in general. So let's address these issues one by one. The first problem is shortcomings in education. This is what most people would probably blame for declining literacy rates, and it is a large part of the problem, especially because over time, schools have been moving away from a phonics and reading-based curriculum to one that is more heavily focused on standardized test preparation. Phonics is the concept of mentally connecting letters with sounds. It's been proven to be the best way for kids to learn to read, but schools have mostly been leaving it out of the curriculum, instead using a context-based approach called balanced literacy. This approach instructs students to guess what unknown words are based on the words around them. As we can see from the current statistics on literacy rates, this approach is nowhere near as effective as teaching phonics. But the curriculum design isn't the only issue in schools. Teachers also don't have the time or resources to help struggling students, as they are often overworked, understaffed, and underpaid. In addition, most classes no longer have independent reading time or books for students to easily access. The main ways we can address these educational-based issues are by advocating for phonics-based learning, more time for reading in class, and more resources and funding for teachers. Let's move on to the second main cause of declining literacy: lack of early reading instruction. Many people view teaching kids to read as 100% the responsibility of schools. After all, you send your kids to school to learn, right? That includes learning how to read. Many parents don't read with their children or even try to teach them to read letters, simply assuming that's what schools are there for. However, when it comes to literacy, the earlier kids get started learning the building blocks, the better. This doesn't mean they should be able to fully read before starting kindergarten, but it's important to teach children phonics and recognizing letters early on. In fact, more and more studies are finding that children's home environment and their exposure to reading and books is crucial to determining their literacy abilities later in life. One study found that children's word reading accuracy and fluency, i.e., decoding, is linked to aspects of the family environment that children grow up in, including parents' educational attainment, how often parents read themselves and to their children, and availability of reading material. In addition, measures of parents' direct teaching about print have shown somewhat larger effects than parents' informal print-related activities, such as shared reading. So, it's clear that parents' involvement in their children's literacy education is crucial. Even something as small as reading a book to your child each day can help set them up for success later in life. Finally, let's look at the third main issue: lack of access to books. There are a couple of key factors here. The first is the financial situation of many families. Books are expensive, and that alone can make them inaccessible, especially for those who are living in poverty. Even though libraries are the obvious solution here, they are currently nationally underfunded, and many are struggling to stay open. This is one of the most important areas to focus efforts to improve literacy. It's absolutely crucial to push for increasing library funding and to even donate to local libraries if possible. In addition, we should also advocate for making books available in classrooms and funding programs that provide free books for children. Some of those programs are listed here. Literacy is one of the most important skills you can have. It can affect so many aspects of your life, from critical thinking skills when reading news and social media, to being able to further your education and get a good job, to even just being able to read a book for enjoyment. Kids who don't learn to read become adults who can't read. That has resulted in the current statistics. 21% of US adults are illiterate. 54% of US adults have reading skills below a 6th grade level. We can change those numbers if we address the root causes of declining literacy rates. That means advocating for curriculum changes, helping kids get an early start to learning to read at home, and funding libraries so that everyone has equal access to the resources they need. Declining literacy is a serious problem, but it's one we can fix if we try.